Hello and welcome to the Warhorse Football Coaches Show. I'm your host, Anthony Collins. Joining me now is our maestro of defense, defensive coordinator, Coach Robert Martin. Coach, welcome to the show.
Appreciate it.
No problem, Coach.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for taking some time out for us today. So for the viewers out there who don't know you, give us some background information about you. How did you fall in love with the game of football?
I fell in love with youth football. Like I said, y'all call it out here AAA ball, but I call it youth football. When I did play youth football, I was a running back. But as time went on, my ninth grade year, I transitioned to linebacker. So from my ninth grade year to my senior year, I played defense most of the time on the ball.
Then you get to high school, you made the switch from offense to defense?
Yeah.
So in your opinion, what makes a good defensive player?
Somebody that got a motor. You just need to have a motor. It's not all about you knowing what you're doing. It's all about making yourself right. So if you're wrong, you try to make yourself right. I always tell my kids now, I got this saying where I say organized chaos. I want you to be organized, but I want you to have chaos with it. Because if you is flying around and you wrong, somebody behind you will make you right. So I always say organized chaos. You got to have that motor. If you don't have no motor, there's no way of you playing defense.
Basically, what I'm understanding, you have to have a skill set of want to play defense. It's not necessarily who's the flashiest, who's the fastest, but like how bad do you want it?
It's how bad you want it. You're not the person that's going to be, if we win a game, lose a game, it's always going to be, if you win a game, it's always the offense. If you lose a game, it's always the defense. So you're never in the spotlight. So you got to understand that you're going to never be in the spotlight if you play defense.
So kind of piggybacking off of that, Coach, speaking of spotlight, walk us through the game plan from a defensive standpoint against our most recent game against the Tioga Indians. What was your game plan going into that game?
My game plan was I wanted to, my goal was like we struggled this year, kind of struggled this year with run defense. So my game plan this game was to stop the run. And I felt like we did it because, they had 14 at halftime. So I felt like, we were stopping them on a run. And my goal is, my goal always, I know I'm an aggressive blitzer, so I'm a man up. I'm going to try to send heat. I'm going to try to get to you before you throw it. So if you coach it gives me 9 times out of 10, you'll try to get a big play. But other than that, I felt like we did good at the first half. I kind of felt like we went downhill coming into the second half.
So for those of us viewers out there who may or may not know, when you say blitzing, I guess the question is, how often during the game are you blitzing?
I say 80% of the time because I like number. I'm a numbers guy, so if it's 4 to 5, if I could get 6 on 5 or 6 on 4, I'll make you choose. I want to see how, what your choice is, because my goal is to make you get the ball as quick as possible, and if you get in the ball as quick as possible, by the time my DBs they'll be there already. So try to make plays for them.
Got you. So talking about our most recent game against the Indians, tell us in your opinion as the coach, because you've seen everything, who were some of the statistical leaders on the defense in that game for us?
Jordanville, I would say Howard, and I would say Tony. Alonzo was a good point too. Him coming out the game second half kind of hurt us on the run defense. Okay. So I say him to Alonzo.
So when you're on the sideline, you're scheming, what are these players doing that just really jumps out? You're like, man, they're on it tonight.
Just moving, man. Like, they flying around. It's not one thing about me, I'm not a person that I call the games as an offensive guy, offensive coach. So I'm calling the plays every play. It's just like our offensive guy is calling the plays every play. And all I just need them to do is just move around. And I'll put them in a position to, make the plays. So those guys right there, they really be putting themselves, I help them out, but they really put themselves in positions to make big plays.
That's what we call you the maestro, because you're putting them in position to make the team excel. So from that game, give us some key points, some areas, and give us the good and the bad, some things that look good in the game and some things that we can definitely work on and improve going forward to our game this Friday night.
Setting the edge was great in this game. I felt like we did a great job of setting the edge. Now, things that we need to work on is tackling. We missed a lot of tackles.
Okay. Lastly, which defensive player, give me one name, one player that really had a breakout successful game?
Jordanville.
Jordanville?
Yeah, Jordanville.
That's actually a perfect segue, because Jordanville is our student athlete of the week. So we're going to take a brief break. When we come back, we'll have our student athlete week on, Mr. Jordanville. Coach, don't go nowhere. We're going to need you in a few minutes. And welcome back. Now we want to take time to recognize this week's Player of the Week. This is a great way to spotlight a student athlete who has shown great leadership both on and off the field. And our student athlete of the week is none other than Mr. Jordan Ville. Jordan, welcome to the show, sir.
Appreciate it.
Doing all right?
Yes, sir.
So, Jordan, thank you. Congratulations. You being a great example of what it actually means to be a student athlete. So, in your own words and opinion, what does it mean to you to be a student athlete?
Academically, you lead and, walk around the school showing leadership, getting on underclassmen, about, leading and all that. And on the field, being a leader, making sure your teammates right, making plays, all that.
So you're a senior, correct?
Yes, sir.
Senior year. So every single game, you don't have, all you have to schedule. No more games unless the playoffs happen. So What is your mindset going into each and every game every week?
Basically to do what I'm supposed to do. But if my teammates not doing what they supposed to do, get on them about not doing it. If they can't make the play, then I'm gonna make the play.
What position do you play? Let the viewers at home know what position you play.
Strong safety, linebacker, and some other stuff too on the side. But yeah, that's really my main position.
So the role of a strong safety is what?
It's really to contain the run and also get back for passes. You really just like a DB2 and a linebacker. It's really just mixed.
Okay, and linebacker as well, right?
Yeah.
Out of those two, which one do you prefer playing?
Strong safety. Like I don't like playing linebacker for real because it's like you stuck in the box outlet. So you really just focus on the quarterback and running and all that. But at strong safety, you get to focus on the run and also go out to catch a pick and all that. So yeah.
So you get to really impact the game and have your hands kind of all over the game.
Yeah.
So our most recent game against the Tioga Indians. Give us a good and a bad from that game. Give us some good takeaways and some bad takeaways from that game.
I really feel like first half we really came out aggressive. We was doing what we were supposed to do. We had some mistakes here and there and all that, just a little miscommunication. But, the bad thing that happened was like second half we came out and I guess everybody just laid down. We wasn't on our A game no more and all that. So it's like we just got to focus on putting a complete game together and finishing the game.
So as a leader on the team, what is your role to ensure going forward that we don't just get lackadaisical, we don't just lay down in the second half? What's your role going to be to make sure that doesn't happen?
At practice, it all starts at practice. We got to stay on each other about, going hard and, doing the drills complete and all that and going 100% for real.
So our next home game is Friday night. It's senior night, correct?
Yes, sir.
So just give us kind of, your thought process, the emotions. What are you thinking right now before you take the field, in your last game as a senior at Peabody?
Yeah, well, I ain't really focused on the senior part because, we got to win the game. But, it is senior night, so people going to be focused on, like, oh, it's my last game this day. But we got to focus on winning the game so it don't be our last game.
Correct. If you can pinpoint, tell the viewers at home what is one of your best memories, either this season or seasons past, as a member of the Warhorse football team.
My best memory was really just last year playing with the seniors that I played with. We was like a phenomenal group. Like I really love them boys. Like them boys, they really helped me out. So yeah, that's really one of my best memories. I love them.
Okay, I'm not gonna hold you too long because I know you're a student athlete, so you got some classes and tests to study for. But lastly, give us, just for the viewers at home, man, just give us some positive words about our defensive coordinator, Coach Martin. What does he mean to you and the rest of the defense?
Coach Rob is a phenomenal coach. He really did a lot for me outside of football and all that. Like he really just motivates me to do better in life and all that. He gets on me about the things I do wrong and all that outside of school and all that. But he really just a leader and all that, and I really look up to him.
Coach Rob sounds like he's a leader of men, right?
Yeah.
All right, Jordan, appreciate you taking some time. When we come back, ladies and gentlemen, Coach Martin will join us again to talk about this week's matchup with the Walton Wildcats. Jordan, congratulations.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Keep up the good work. Welcome back. We're joined again with Coach Robert Martin, defensive coordinator of the Peabody Warhorse football team. Now we're going to turn our focus to our opponent this week, the Walton Wildcats. Coach, just give us your initial thoughts and concerns on the game from a defensive standpoint about the Wildcats.
So it's really, we playing against, they like to run the ball, so they play, I formation. They like to overpower you. So best thing for them is, just stopping the run. Like I say, we had a hard time this year stopping the run. I feel like if we come out aggressive, we actually stop the run this week. And one thing about them that I saw on film, they do not get out what they do. They love their scheme and they're going to stay in it. So if they run the I formation, they're going to stay in it all night. And I feel like if we be able to get the third and outs, I feel like our offense is going to score.
Do you believe the old saying that offense sell tickets, defense win championships?
Always. I'm a Baltimore Ravens fan. I one of my favorite athletes is Ray Lewis, so I always been a defensive minded person. Like I know defense always gonna win championships, always.
Correct. Now defense gonna do what they're gonna do.
Mhm.
Is there anybody that you may or may not be losing sleep over that you just like, man, we gotta really hone in and scheme for this guy? Wide receiver, running back, quarterback, anybody like that in that Wasserman team?
Nah, not really. Nobody. Nah, I don't really see anybody that's as that person, that guy that just sticks out. I'm like they one team,
Mhm.
and they do what they do well. But I feel like we fast enough. Like I told my kids, this is the fastest group I ever had. So I feel like we are faster than a lot of kids, a lot of schools that we played. So we stay how we are and be more aggressive. I feel like we're gonna win.
So let's stay right there. How does our defense being so fast, how does that give us the upper hand, the advantage from week to week?
It goes with that motor, man. If you're already fast, I can do a lot of stuff with you. I can do a lot of stunts with you. If I want to drop you back, because I always tell my kids, everybody the same person on defense. I run my scheme because I ran the same scheme when I was in high school because we was undersized, but we was fast.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm running the same scheme, and they are perfecting the same scheme, and they're doing it well. And you see a lot of kids in that system actually excelling. Like I wouldn't think that my boy Alonzo would be as good as he is this year, but he's doing great because he's fast and he's physical. So just being in the scheme, man, like it's a great scheme for smaller guys, undersized guys, but they are fast. So
with that being said, Coach, going into this game, what does the defense need to do to be successful in the terms of what they're capable of? And you know the sky's the limit for them. So what do they need to do from the word go, from kickoff to execute, and really just put a defensive stamp on this game?
Make tackles. That's our only problem. Like I say, us not stopping the run is because we're not making tackles.
Mm-hmm.
We in the backfield, we just not making those tackles in the backfield. And they'll get out and they'll jump on us and they'll hit us for 6-7 yards a pop. So us making those tackles in the backfield or just at least holding them up until everybody else can gang a tackle, and we good. I feel like we'll be all right.
So how are we going to clean those tackles up? Like what do you have in mind to just go ahead and secure and make sure we're not missing tackles this game?
And breaking down, slowing it down. I want you to be fast. But I want you to slow it down. So when you get there, slow it down, break down, make the tackle, make the secure tackle. You don't always have to have the big hit. Just make the tackle. If you can't make the tackle, hold them up until everybody else tackle. So until everybody else comes. So that's the goal for me.
Man, thank you, Coach, for what you're doing. Defenses look great this season. I don't know about you, but I'm predicting the Warhorse win Friday night. Defense is going to lead the way. That's all the time we have for this week. Coach Martin, thank you for stopping in with us.
Appreciate
Check
it.
us in next week, ladies and gentlemen. Come back and join us when we're joined by our kicking coach, none other than Mr. Seth Collins.